All right, Geek Outings here to cover Clone Wars, Season 7, Episode 5, The Return of Ahsoka, Gone with a Trace. Very excited to see Ahsoka back. All Ahsoka all day, and then also we just had the announcement about, damn it, what's her name?
Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson. The beautiful Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka in Mandalorian Season 2 live action Ahsoka, first time. All right, this is Editor coming out of San Antonio, Texas, Rona Free.
All right, and happy as always to just be a part of this and still be around while we're being sequestered and being told we're safe, we're at home, shelter in place, whatever sort of verbiage you want to use. But stoked to start talking about some cool stuff and get my geek on. Let's do this.
Boba Fresh. Boba Fresh. Coming to you from San Francisco, ready to get his geek on out.
She just turned in her badge and gun to the Jedi Order after they kicked her out, and she's like, nah, you kicked me out. I'm not coming back. And is walking. That's the last time you see her, walking off into the sunset with Anakin looking at her. And now she's fallen down into the underworld on a busted-ass bike. Like, what else can go wrong? I'm feeling a lot of sympathy for Ahsoka right now. She's on her own, basically for the first time in her life. And her bike falls apart on her, and she just happens to land on this platform. Yeah, that's
how old is she supposed to be?
It's cliche. What's that?
How old is she supposed to be?
She's in her late teens at this point in time. Yeah, I'm thinking late teens, maybe early 20s, but more late teens, I think.
No, I think that's how she's depicted. Because I remember there was a thing like she's known Anakin so long that I guess she would have been like 11 or 12.
Well, if she's 20 and it's 7 seasons long, you know, I don't know how they work their time in Star Wars, but that would put her at 13, 14-ish.
Right.
Like if you know, when she was like, okay, you're leaving the Jedi Temple and you're going out on missions with your master. You know, so that's how long they were together. And now she is literally the first time on her own, and she just crash lands. She doesn't know how to talk to anybody that's not, you know, in the middle of this war or, you know, a Jedi like student master relationship. You know, if you think about that's got to have a chick twisted right there. Anybody would be twisted after that. And then having the courage to walk away from it, she's in a bad spot right now. And I think people need to forget that for that slapstickiness. And then you see Trace. Trace is just she's just a regular person. She's blue collar. She's down there working, just trying to get her survival on. But she's not a bad person. And she lets Ahsoka, without knowing that she's a Jedi, know about what regular people feel about the war and Jedis. You know, I'm tired of it. Like, let me get on with my life. You know?
Yeah, Jedi's always causing wars with each other. They don't care about us. Like all these things. And then it also comes out in that conversation that she grew to be a cynic. When I was younger, I used to think all these things about him. You know, romanticized him and all that.
That kind of seems to be the general consensus with people when they talk about the Jedi during this time in Star Wars history. And then you can kind of hear Ahsoka talk about what you're saying, Lucy, when she starts talking about how she understands droids but doesn't understand people. And obviously her being in that student-master relationships stunts your growth, especially your people skills, if all you do is obey orders or give orders. There's not much inter-person-like skills, inter-people skills that you learn in that type of existence.
Yeah. Well, I think what will be interesting for them to go on and explore with Ahsoka at this point is that as she does grow into womanhood, and that's definitely one of the great things that I found about this episode was Ahsoka's design and aging up, her glow up, as the kids call it.
Are you talking about her Canadian tuxedo that she's rocking?
I wasn't going to talk about the Canadian tuxedo.
I love that fucking denim jumper, man. I don't care. You can call her mechanic. You can call her Canadian. I love it on her. It works.
Oh, I know what I was going to do. And I think it'll be interesting if they explore Ahsoka now that she's not in the Jedi Temple and coming of womanhood with some kind of romantic stories. Like they teased at them before with the Clone Wars and that one dude that was going back and forth with the, I think it was maybe the Mandalores during season 5. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they give Ahsoka a love interest and where that falls. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they explore, because she has dealt with droids and clones. Like, you know, like 98.9% of the men she's ever seen in her life are all the same dude. So it'll be interesting.
And the
to
rest of
see.
them, she had to call master.
And it not necessarily, but I understand what you're leaning towards, this, but not necessarily. Yeah, I think it'll be cool to see if they make her a developed, grown-up person, but also I think that kind of leans into her being a strong female character and doing a solid job of having 3 distinct female personalities lead this particular episode and shine very hard in their world building and depth of character building that they achieved in this one episode.
You know what, though, building on that point that we were talking about the last few episodes about you know, what is that spark of life? The difference between the rights of a sentient clone versus a sentient AI droid. In this one, we find out certain droids are prone to violence, which is just a whole nother like laughable stage of like than even Mace Windu offering them the chance to surrender. It's like now that, I mean, and that robot looked like it was freaking out. It was on a bad acid trip. It wasn't like pissed off.
Scared, running scared. Running scared.
But definitely giving some semblance of like a life or like fight or flight type thing, which is a qualification for life, right?
Human instinct.
Of animal instinct.
Animal instinct. Basic instinct. Basic.
Anal? Did you say anal instinct?
I didn't say that's basic instinct, but whatever floats your boat, homie.
That's instinct. Did you guys notice the loaf caps from Rebels running around? Love those things.
Yeah.
If I could have a pet from Star Wars, I think it would be one of those.
It wouldn't be an Ewok?
No, that's just like slavery.
That is
Not a baby Yoda?
I'm sure at some point we'll find out that the Loth cats are also sentient.
Oh, yeah, great points, Rob. If anybody's interested, spoilers, Ahsoka is a much more mature character during her appearances in Star Wars Rebels, which was probably 5 or 6 years down the road from when I think this timeline would be ending, but definitely before The Mandalorian. Yeah, well, timeline-wise, I think Rebels sets up, 3 or 4 years post Order 66.
It's still before Star Wars?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It sure is. Yeah, you're right.
Because
Well,
Kanan is like, Kanan saw Order 66 go down and his master, and he was just he was kind of a Padawan at the time too.
Yeah, they have a whole graphic novel on that. I read it. It was very
and he saw his master get murked, and she's like, "Run, motherfucker, run!"
Yeah, that's why he doesn't trust any of the droids.
Yeah. Oh no, doesn't. No, he trusts the droids. He doesn't trust the clones.
Clones, I mean, yeah. I would like to point out the fight scenes in this episode were also pretty awesome. So good, doing a little breakdancing. The chase scenes were good. It was interesting, but I think somebody noted that this episode doesn't really set up anything. There's nothing to go from this episode. We don't know we have no clue to what the next episode is going to be about.
Yeah, it didn't like lay the groundwork. It just reintroduced a potential plot point. That's why I have to believe she's going to run into them, and it's like it's a Chekhov's gun thing. You don't introduce it for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is her trying to hide being a Jedi right now, but That won't
And
last
again,
long.
I disagree. I disagree on two specific points in the episode. Point number one, where she's standing on the platform getting ready to go, like leave Chase behind or whatever, and she sees that one star cruiser like lifting up out of the depths, and she watches it kind of go. Like she's like, I think in her mind right there, she's like, I gotta get off this planet, and that's where she jumps back and it's like, all right, what do I got to do to to get my hustle on? And then they run into that thing, and then at the very end of the episode, when she's sitting down on the table, and she's like, hey, like you can come with me, and she's like, Chase is like, nah, my sister, man, I got to stick with my family. And it's like, oh, your family just stabbed you in the back, but I got to get off planet. You want, and like she's basically asking her to roll. She's trying to figure a way to get off planet and continue on with her life off of Coruscant. That's the direction. I'm surprised you guys don't see that. It's plain obvious.
But because it's obvious, because it's a nowhere. The thing is like when you introduce the Bad Batch, it's a nowhere. In the episode 1, when you introduce the Bad Batch, you're like, well, Admiral Trench has our plan somehow. How do we figure out that how do we get those plans? And he's like, oh, I think maybe that this is too good. It's Echo. So all in the first episode, it's established that there's conflict, there's a resolution that needs to happen, and what they're going to do in the next episode. We literally know what they're going to do in the next episode, and this episode doesn't do that. They establish the world. They do a great bit of world building about the underworld in 1313 and a very Blade Runner-esque Coruscant underbelly, which I thought was great to explore. But when the episode ended, we didn't have Ahsoka pursuing a captain about a ship. We didn't have Ahsoka going anywhere. She's literally eating noodles and hanging out. And I'm not saying not every episode needs to be something big, but I don't think that this episode progressed the direction, and I don't know where the rest of this arc, if the traditional 4-episode arc is supposed to go in place, I don't know what the other 3 episodes are going to be, and it would seem like they would almost not matter to what's happening. Obviously, the sister Rafa is going to get her into some more trouble, but there wasn't anything extra getting carried over because everything got resolved within this one episode. She gave the droids back. They didn't owe those people any money anymore, yada, yada. So, yeah, I just don't think that the episode left us knowing where the rest of the arc was going to go.
Let me ask you something. If next episode is Girls' Night Out and they're out in the underworld partying for 30 minutes, how are you going to feel about that?
I think it would be a cool bit of exploring the world again. I think that that's not a bad thing. Yeah, I'm curious of what Coruscant's nightlife is like. But I will say that instead of
sticks everywhere.
Yeah, death sticks everywhere.
All right. On that note, Editor closing out from San Antonio. You guys stay sanitary, safe, separated, studious. Any other S's I can not think of for alliteration? Like, comment. Oh, subscribe. There you go.
Yeah, and if you like this episode, take a look at our back catalog of episodes. I was doing the numbering, and we're closing in on number 40 soon. I think we're like, this is 38 or 39. So yeah, if you like the episodes, like the channel, we do this. It's fun. We love it. And oh yeah, wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Stay 6 feet away from everybody. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. This will all be over soon, and we'll look back in like 10 years and laugh. I mean, obviously not all of us will look back and laugh, but for the most part we will. So, Bobby Joel Cole, chiming in from Santa Monica, California. Keep on geeking on.
Something, stay inside something. Boba Fresh from San Francisco, always a pleasure geeking out with y'all. Love you. Peace.
Hey, Rob Lucy, coming at you from Southern Oregon once again. I hope we're an example to some of you watching these episodes. We're in 4 different cities, but staying closer to each other than some people that are, you know, just down the block and doing it and keeping a social connection, which I enjoy. I hope you guys are enjoying watching this. Like, comment, subscribe, become part of the party. Look forward to our next episode. Peace.